Hi there, welcome back. What are my shoulders doing? I don't know. Anyway, hi, welcome. Once again, life got crazy in the month of July, and honestly, this video series is a little bit lower down on my priority list right now. YouTuber is not high on my list of dreams to chase. You know? So anyway, we're back again. Happy August. It'll be the end of August by the time I post this, which means it'll be at the end of summer. Like, I'm not even in school anymore, and that still bums me the hell out. Point being, hi. Chapter 5. I don't know, they had talks about emotions and the fact that Christian doesn't know how to express his, and the fire at Christian's office is arson, and they still love each other very much, or whatever, and Anna has that weird nightmare and realizes that her worst, deepest, darkest fear is losing Christian. Even though PSA, nobody in your life is completely irreplaceable. I mean, they kind of are, because no two people are going to fill the exact same role in your life, but like, no romantic partner is the be-all end-all. No matter how hard the breakup is, you can and will get over it. Also, I don't know what is up with my voice right now. It's like very scratchy and weird, and I don't know if it's like allergies or if I'm not hydrating well enough or whatever, but sorry. You're just gonna have to deal. We've had a blissful honeymoon, with a few ups and downs, I admit, but that's normal for a newly married couple, surely. Yeah, sure, fine, but there's a difference between normal ups and downs and your husband now is an abusive douchebag. Just saying. Hair flip. So I sort of feel like I need a separate highlighter color for when they just are unbearably cliche and romantic, because like they just arrived back in Seattle and Christian is insisting on not only carrying Anna across the threshold of his apartment, but he picks her up out of the car and is carrying her into the elevator and up the elevator to cross the threshold of his apartment. I'm just gonna let you do with that what you will. So here's a highlighter color I haven't used in a while, because this is the highlighter color for when this series is very obviously a Twilight fanfiction, and it's been long enough since I've read Twilight that I'm kind of forgetting little tiny plot points that are similar to Twilight, but as Christian is picking Anna up and carrying her toward the apartment, he's commenting that she's put on weight. And I think I know what plot point that's alluding to, because if you'll remember, in the Twilight series, guess what happens to Anna, what the fuck is her name? Bella, on their honeymoon. Oh yeah, side note, also, people in relationships with other people, be careful about commenting on their weight until you know each other really well and know how that'll go down. We live in a society that's very, very fat phobic, especially for women. You never really know what kind of either big traumas or small little micro traumas somebody might have in their past regarding their weight. What do you mean I've put on weight? I glare at Christian. Not much, he assures me, but his face darkens suddenly. What is it? You've put on some of the weight that you lost when you left me. If I hadn't gone, would you be standing here like this now? No, he says, and steps into the elevator, still holding me. No, Mrs. Gray, I wouldn't. But I would know I could keep you safe, because you wouldn't defy me. How possessive and bullshit victim-blamey crap is that one phrase? You can't have your own will, and you can't defy me or disagree with me or assert yourself because you need to listen to everything I tell you in order to keep you safe. Like, that's absolutely an abusive tactic. I just want to say that right now. Like, if you had stayed with me and you hadn't done what was best at the time and broken up with me, nothing bad would have happened. And oh my god, but then it comes back around to like, I'm so happy with you, blah blah blah. She says, even though I'm fat, And he laughs, yes, even though you're fat. Which, like, can we not, with the implication that fat people are less lovable or less desirable or less able to make their partners happy? Because that's such bullshit. Can I just address everyone out there right now who is chubby and or fat and or identifies as any of those words? Your partner, the people in your life, I'm not even gonna restrict this to romantic relationships, the people in your life love you because of exactly who you are. And that includes the fact that you are fat or chubby or whatever word feels good to you. I'm gonna keep using the word fat. But it's not like they would love you more if you were a different weight, if you were skinny. No, they love you for you. And if they don't love you for you, they're not the kind of people that you should necessarily have in your life. I don't know. I don't want to go too far into that right now because that's kind of an entire separate video. But skinny people are not inherently more desirable or more lovable or more worthy of good, healthy relationships than fat people or chubby people. That's not true. That's not how the world works. There are plenty of people out there who will love you for who you are, including loving you for being fat. Not despite it, not ignoring it. It's part of who you are, and that's fine. Part of why you're lovable is because of all of you. It's our first night back here, and you're really mine. Because, once again, as I've been saying, as we all know, romantic relationships don't really count until you're married. Sure, you may have been together for 10 years, 20 years, 35 years. You may have lived together, have built a life together, you may have a family together, but if you've never had a wedding, if you've never signed a marriage certificate, are you really together though? One would think that spending so much time together would be suffocating, but that's just not the case. I've loved each and every minute. Even our fighting. First of all, what? Second of all, of course you've loved spending time together because you're still solidly in the honeymoon period of your relationship. I feel like I said this exact same thing in my last video, but it's true. It may feel crazy and all-consuming, but it is not true love yet. Not by a long shot. It's just novelty and brain chemicals. So, it's the next morning or something, whatever. They're driving to Christian's parents' house to have a welcome home lunch, and so Christian is driving, whatever, one of his fancy fucking cars. I don't know, he probably has like 20 of them. And Anna asks if he would ever let her drive this car, and he says, of course, what's mine is yours. But basically, if you dent it, I'll punish you. And she's like, what? Really? You love your car more than you love me? Which I know this is supposed to be like a joking, teasing, like exchange between them or whatever, but it just bothers me, that implication that a DS negotiated consensual punishment isn't an act of love. And it totally can be. It can be a very intimate, romantic, loving thing, or it can be more like playful, or it can be more just straight up like sadistic and whatever. Even if it is a more like punishment and it's kind of not meant for the sub to enjoy it, it's still out of the love and the agreed upon protocols and dynamics of the relationship, and it's still happening because everyone involved feels like they'll get something positive out of it. Yeah, it just seems like Anna's implying that Christian would punish her because he doesn't love her as much or he doesn't care about her as much, and that's not how kink punishments work. They're at Christian's parents' house, and Anna is in a mood because she's pregnant. She just doesn't know it yet, and Christian is like jokingly threatening to take her to the boathouse and spank her if she doesn't snap out of it. I'm just still finding it amusing / annoying / funny that every time Christian makes some kind of like joking dommy threat like that, Anna feels the need to protest it, even if she likes the idea or if she's excited by it. That's not how being a sub works. in the real world, at least in my experience. Like, I feel like the more appropriate response in this situation would be like, okay, challenge accepted. You're married to a dom. You're eventually gonna be in a DS relationship after you figure out whatever the fuck kind of relationship you're in right now. Like, it would just feel like more of an authentic, submissive reaction if she was excited about that fact every once in a while, like vocally. But of course, this is not actual BDSM erotica, and she's not actually a sub, and Christian is arguably not actually even a dom because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. So, I don't know what I expected. That's not why I'm here. So, they go back into the house and Christian settles in at their piano and starts playing, and then he kind of starts singing to himself, and apparently no one in his family has ever heard him sing before, and so they're all just like, whoa, this is cool, this is a rare moment. And then Christian's mom just all of a sudden like grabs Anna and hugs her and is like, thank you so much. And it's like this really overly dramatic moment of like another illustration of Anna is Christian's meant to be, and she's the one, and she's changed him, and she's healing his lifelong traumas through the power of their romance, and she's just made him so much happier than he could ever possibly be without her. And oh my god, you guys, I don't even have a particular trauma in my life, but you know, having mental health issues, there's pain in my life, there's sadness in my life. Even the most beautiful, loving, wonderful, romantic relationship is not gonna fix that. It would help. I mean, for sure, having any and all forms of love and care and affection in your life helps with that kind of bullshit, but it's not a magical cure. And honestly, I'm fine, like, this is kind of tangentially related, but whatever, here we go. I'm finding that that kind of pain and trauma can just as easily drag down a romantic relationship, and especially establishing a new romance and getting to know a new person and letting them in can really easily be dragged down and derailed by pain and trauma and emotional bullshit. I'm finding in my life right now that it is more beneficial to me to work on myself so that then I can go into my next romantic relationship a stronger and better and more emotionally whole person and kind of hold up my end of the relationship a little bit better, versus coming into romance out of a place of extreme pain and emotional distress and just completely leaning on the other person to try and fix that, which, you know, they didn't sign up for and they may or may not be equipped to deal with. Your romantic partner is not your therapist. They're not going to fix your life for you, certainly not just through the power of good sex or whatever. And it's just another one of those like bullshit narratives that I feel like I see a lot in especially straight romances that it's not a healthy way of living. So she's like, are you going to spank me? And he says, only if you misbehave. Which is, again, PSA, not how all kink relationships work. Once again, these books just operate off of all these stereotypes about how kink relationships work, and that spanking is only ever a punishment for the sub misbehaving, and that's so not true. Spanking can happen just because you both want it to, or whatever. Like, it just seems like a good idea at the time, because it's fun, because your sub enjoys it, and because you enjoy giving the spanking. This series just has so many preconceived notions about the rules or the norms of what a kink relationship needs to or should look like, and that's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. There are as many different ways to have kink relationships as there are kinky people in the world. I mean, the only rules are consent and being risk aware, being as safe as you possibly can, because I feel like I may have touched on this before, but like some kinks are inherently a little bit unsafe, and but you know, being as safe as possible is always a good idea. But other than that, it's like, do whatever the fuck you want. Just fucking get spanked because you feel like getting spanked in the moment, you know? There is no one right way to do a kink relationship. So on the way back from Christian's family's house, Christian lets Anna drive his car because of course. So they're being followed, so they get on the highway or the freeway. Freeway? I don't know. There's a difference. Whatever. I'm not sure what it is. And he's basically like, once we're on the freeway, like, floor it. We gotta try and lose this guy. And so she does, because, you know, they're in a fancy sports car, so it's fine. They can do that. She can do that kind of thing. Christian's like trying to help guide her or whatever, but he's like just in the passenger seat, like super tense, like, oh my god, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do this. We might die today. Like as she's like weaving through traffic and like whatever, he calls her good girl. And that's another one of those little moments of like, okay, yeah, that's kind of hot. Just a brief little moment of, all right, I'm enjoying this. Also, this whole car chase thing is happening at 75 miles an hour, which is a little bit hilarious to me because that's how fast I go on the freeway every day. I mean, granted, like getting closer into the nearest like actual city, the speed limit goes down, so whatever, but like out here in the country, speed limit's 70, So now they've actually picked up speed and they're actually going like really fucking fast. I don't know what they're at right now. It's like the narration is giving us updates on their exact speed. But anyway, flash the headlights, Christian orders when a Ford Mustang won't move. But that would make me an asshole. Sweetheart, you're already driving like 100 fucking miles an hour or whatever. Like, you're already being an asshole and like swerving all over the highway and running for your life right now, basically. Don't even worry about it at this point. That's like, flashing your headlights is the least asshole-ish thing you're doing right now, if we're concerned about that. And now, in the middle of all this, as they're still like speeding down through the streets of Seattle, they're having this whole discussion about one of Christian's security officers' first name, and like the fact that Anna didn't know his first name even though he's been like following her around being her security guy for like weeks. And I'm just like, how is this relevant right now? You're in the middle of a fucking car chase. So they lose the guy who's following them. They're in like a public parking lot and they're having adrenaline sex in the car, and it's so scandalous because they're in a public parking lot and oh my goodness, public sex. Well, aren't you the wanton creature? I had no idea you were such an exhibitionist. Lord save me from the dialogue in this series. Well, Mrs. Gray, you're in luck. I'm taking requests today. A good dom would be taking requests every day, because every scene needs to be consensual and negotiated. And that's the chapter. This is my boyfriend right now. I love him very much, but he doesn't always like to cuddle. He cuddles on his terms. Anyway, yeah, that was chapter 5. Thank you for your patience throughout this summer as I live my life for once and don't always get around to filming these. Thank you as usual for joining me. Comment, like, subscribe, upvote, whatever you feel like doing here on the YouTubes. I love it. I love interacting with you. Those few of you who watch these videos, those few times when I actually get to interact with you, I love it. It's great. I would like to do more of that if you feel so inclined. Follow my Twitter. It's down in the comment box, commenty boxy thing for Probably a lot more than you bargained for, but also for updates on how these videos are going. Great, cool. What's my advice this time? Kitty, what should my advice be? Until next time, do some shit. Have some fun. Enjoy the sunshine. I don't fucking know. Until next time, listen to your Fitbit. Get your steps in. Fuck. No, I'm not gonna say that. Just like show love to some people and or animals around you. Your loved ones, whatever form they may take. Tell them you love them. Cuddle with them. I don't know. Give them food. Whatever you like to do to show your affection. I feel like maybe I said something really similar last time. But whatever. It's good advice always. You should always be nice and be loving and caring to the people around you. Yeah. I don't know. I have nothing more to say. Bye. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything. I don't know.